High above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why
We are gathered here today to celebrate one of life's greatest moments, to give recognition to the unity and beauty of this relationship, and to cherish the words which shall unite Ashley and Carl in this marriage forever. On behalf of Ashley and Carl, I would like to welcome you and thank you all for gathering here on this beautiful day. Oh, you guys can sit. I'm sorry.
You have so much power.
Stand up again? Okay, sit it. All right. On behalf of Ashley and Carl.
When your quick break hotel turns into a slum and your holiday photos show only your thumb. When you park for 5 minutes in a residence bay and return to discover you've been towed away. When the jeans that you bought in hope or in haste just stick on your hips and don't reach around your waist. When the food you most like brings you out in red rashes, when as soon as you boot up, the bloody thing crashes. So my darling, my sweetheart, my dear, when you break a rule, when you act the fool, when you've got the flu, when you're in a stew, when you're last in the queue, don't feel blue, 'cause I'm telling you, I'll be there for you.
Thanks, Sid.
I wrote it.
Ashley and Carl will now share their personal vows.
Ashley, you and I both know how indecisive I can be at times. I have a hard time making decisions sometimes and go back and forth on ideas a lot. But there's one decision that I know is right, and it's spending the rest of my life with you. Our relationship started in a blaze of glory, and we've never looked back. The countless trips and adventures we have shared together in the last 5 years have truly been some of the best times of my life. I love our life together, whether we are out somewhere in the world creating new memories or at home on the couch watching The Bachelor on Mondays, Chiefs-Lions games on Sundays, Dateline on Fridays,
We leave sometimes.
or Friends every single night. You are my perfect match. Sorry. You look absolutely beautiful. Today is perfect, and we are surrounded by our favorite people. However, I know not every day will be like this, and we will have our off days. There will be days when I'm being a handful, as I've been said to be. And there will be mornings when you haven't had your coffee yet, and your hair looks like you were hit by a tornado. But I promise to love you and always be there for you through any of our lows and to cherish all of our amazing highs. I also promise to do the things that neither of us want to do, even if we both don't want to do them, and I don't want to do them more. I'll still do it. There are an infinite number of things that I love about you. I love how you can make me feel special by all your thoughts and thoughtful surprises and your cute notes you'll put in my lunch. You make me laugh daily, even though I say you're not funny. Your sense of humor and how you can connect with anyone is an infectious quality. I love how much you cherish your family and friends and how you always think of special things to make their day. You also let me golf a lot, which is great. But most importantly, I love you. I love how you've molded me and our relationship into something I could never live without. You have made me a better man, and you have pushed me to be a better version of myself. I'm so excited to start this new journey with you. Viva la Ventura.
Oh, we're not supposed to kiss yet, are we? No, not yet. Carl. Whew, that's tough to follow. You're it for me. You have been since day one and always will be. You are the love of my life, and you make me happier than I could ever have imagined. I love the person you are most of the time and the person you make me. You are one of the sweetest, most caring, and kind people I have ever known, with the exception of when you're driving and when you're watching a Chiefs game. I have watched you patiently give up the sweet parking spot we were waiting for in a crowded lot to an elderly woman who knocked on our car window to thank you afterward. Watched as you ignored my snap judgment to not make eye contact with the homeless man in the New York City subway and helped him carry his loaded grocery cart up several flights of stairs. And without hesitation, and with me huffing and puffing, always stop to hold the door until there is no one else in sight. I have no doubt that you have and continue to make me become the best version of myself. You are my home and my greatest adventure all at once. There is no one else that I would rather hole up in the house watching Dateline and Netflix with. There is no one else that I would rather travel the world and live out once-in-a-lifetime experiences with. So my promise to you, I promise to listen to you and learn from you. I promise to laugh with you a lot and support you always. I promise to value our differences just as much as our common ground. I promise to call Comcast instead of you when I'm in a bad mood. And while I can't promise to ever understand, I will promise to try to accept your passion for continuously reorganizing our spice cabinet, keeping every brochure from every trip we've ever taken, and saving your paper towels to use again later. Most importantly, I promise to walk hand in hand with you as your teammate wherever this journey leads us. I am so thankful for our beautiful life together, for our friends, for your family, for you fitting in so well with my family. I'm so thankful for you. I love you.
Carl, please take Ashley's left hand and repeat after me. Ashley, you are more special to me today than yesterday.
Ashley, you are more special to me today than yesterday.
You will be more cherished tomorrow.
You will be more cherished tomorrow.
Please wear this ring and see it as a symbol of my love for you.
Please wear this ring as a symbol of my love for you.
You can put it on. Ashley, please repeat after me. Carl, you are more special to me today than yesterday.
Carl, you are more special to me today than yesterday.
You will be more cherished tomorrow.
You will be more cherished tomorrow.
Please wear this ring and see it as a symbol of my love for you.
Please wear this ring and see it as a symbol of my love for you.
a deep commitment and sacred trust. You have given each other the most precious gift of love. Treasure it, nurture it, and encourage it with all the honesty used in creating it. It is my honor to now pronounce you husband and wife. You make this. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Carl Milton Klein III.
Please, everybody, let me hear your big applause for Carl and Ashley Klein.
I was a boat stuck in a bottle that never got the chance to touch the sea. Just forgot on the shelf, no wind in the sails, going nowhere with no one but me. I was 1 in 100 billion, a burnout star in a galaxy. Just lost in the sky, wondering why everyone else shines out for me. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. I was a worn out set of shoes, wandering the city street. Another face in the crowd, head looking down, lost in the sound of a lonely melody. Empty pockets and a roulette, always landing on a lost bet. Just live for the spin and hope for the win, go all in just to lose again. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. The worst me is just a long gone memory. Put it never
Everybody, let me hear your big applause for Mr. and Mrs. Klein. And now we would like to invite to the father of the bride for the father and daughter dance. Please, everybody, receive him with a big applause.
Mama's looks, Mama's eyes, her old man's fight inside. Stubborn heart, gypsy soul. Tell me where does the time go? Gonna dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment in time. Before she lets me go, I'll hold her close, caught in this race against time. Right now all I want is to dance with my daughter tonight. Greatest gift in the world is a new baby girl. Feels like God took a chance, placing her here in my hands. Gonna dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment.
Everybody, big applause for the father and daughter dance. Now we would like to invite to Carl and his mom for the mother and the son dance. Please, everybody, receive them with a big applause, ladies and gentlemen.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Such joy and happiness. You bring.
Everybody, let me hear your big applause
Such
for the mother
joy
and the son dance.
And happiness.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for all your support. You can take your seats, enjoy your stay, and enjoy your dinner.
Hola, mis amigos y mis amigas. How's everyone doing tonight? So I have the pleasure of being the opener. So I figured you don't really start off the opener with the talent. So we'll make sure we start off the fun way. And let's go ahead and start off with the cheers to Carl and Klein, to Carl and Ashley Klein. Their first toast as a married couple on my recount. So salud to Carl and Klein, to Carl and Ashley. Cheers. Okay. So I am Cranston, if you didn't know who I was, the youngest brother. I think I have a unique, I think it's unique being the youngest brother because we have, or the youngest sibling, you have like a unique position of kind of observing how the rest of the family, moves along. It's kind of cheating. We get to observe where they make mistakes, where they make the right decisions, and hopefully learn from those and don't do them. Or observe them and then make them twice as bad, and then learn from them afterwards. Hopefully the former, probably the latter. But where it stands with Carl and I have a huge. I think I know it's for sure true between both my older brothers that the youngest is absorbs the rest of the traits of the family. So I think you're most the mold of those that have come before you. So. I know it's true for Corbin. I have traits from him all across who I am, and I know that it's absolutely true for Carl. And hopefully for the better. I guess you guys will be able to decide. But I will say and do things that like a lot of family members and friends will say, like, dude, that was basically Carl. Like that you may have just had his face and pitch and tone when you say that. So for better or for worse, I think I am much a mold of Carl and as well as the rest of the family. But I think it's for better. A couple of examples. So going back when we were kids, we would play this game and we called it Ninja Baby. Like I'm the youngest. It's not that cool. But we would just like run around and jump around and like play karate stuff. And I'm like karate chop Carl, and he'd like fly across the room. I was like, yeah, whoa, like Ninja Baby, and and it was a lot of fun. But even then, like clearly, like I'm like 6, you didn't have to like fly across the room, but he was always looking out for me, and it was true then. It was true when I went to school in Colorado. I went to a very weird school. It was wanted a whole lot of liberties and stuff, so. The opportunity for my friends and I to come up and visit Carl. We visited when Carl was living with Sean at the time, who I hope everyone's met. He's also in the wedding party. When they just opened their apartment up to my friends and I, and we could go up there and hang out and like let our minds loose, just like kind of relax. And that honestly was a huge game changer for how my experience went. And honestly, I credit Carl a lot as often as I can for that, because if it wasn't for that, I doubt it would have made it through that experience. Just being able to leave and kind of just enjoy the weekends. Unfortunately, I also had to put up with all of my friends that convoyed up as well, and so they're just as good of friends with Carl and Sean as I am. So that will always be a huge experience and a game changer for me. Shooting forward a couple years, when I first heard of Ashley, I could not compete with Dad's speech last night. That was perfect. I won't even try. That was fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's for Pops. When I first heard of Ashley, I visited in 2014 after I was living in South Carolina, and I just heard of I was at Carl's apartment, and Carl just told us how he had reconnected with a girl that he had seen for the first time in a Superman outfit, which sounds like pretty awesome, and then found out that she happens to live in the same building. So immediately the conversation switches, like, okay, like, how are we talking? Like, how are we going to talk to this girl today? Like, how are we going to reconnect today? And I was advocating the stance of, Carl, tell her you're baking cookies and you need sugar or butter or, like, I don't even know, dough for these cookies. And pop over and just, hey, you are my neighbor. Give me some sugar. That's not. I think Outkast saying that. I don't think that's quite how it went. But however it did go, worked out. And then jumping forward, 4 years later, Carl visited me in DC in 2017, and this was just as he was formulating his plans to propose. And we went, picked him up from the airport, and went to dinner, and we were, having, like, the talk, and I was like, Carl, like, how do you know? Like, how do you know, like, this is it? Like, this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with? Like, and I love Ashley, but it's just, like, how do you know? And I guess I was expecting maybe, some big, like, large, just, monumental answer, but what he came back with is like, yes, like, of course, this is the person I'm gonna spend my life with, the rest of my life with, like, of course she's the one, and that was almost, I think, more meaningful, is that like, some things are simple, so, like, love can be hard, but I think love can also be very simple, and in that moment I could tell that, like, okay, he knows. He knows, and he's got it figured out. And so that meant a lot. Just to hear that from Carl. Carl can be a lot. I think the vows were perfect today. They were. I could not have imagined them better. They're just so you guys love each other, and it's perfect. It's fantastic. But Carl can be a handful. If you've ever seen his fridge, you can tell, like, the perfect grid coordinate magnets, like, it's a little much. And then inside the fridge, the LaCroix, the lemonade is all perfect. That can't be too easy to work with on a daily basis. But I was remarking to Caroline, who's on my date tonight, God bless her, this morning, that I could not imagine someone better and more perfect for Carl. And I think it's every quality. If anything about Ashley was different, I don't think it wouldn't be the match that it was, and it is just perfect. And I know I'm going long, but I just think, like, Ashley, you really are perfect for Carl. We are so happy and lucky to have you joining our family. We could not be happier. You do it. You are Carl's perfect match, and we were talking about soulmates this morning, and I think you are Carl's soulmate, and we are just so happy to welcome you to the family, and to welcome Ashley's family and ours as well. So thank you guys so much for coming, making the trip out here, and cheers, salute. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Cheers, salute. Chin chin.
So first of all, Ashley, you look perfect. 4 weeks ago, which I thought was 3, but I guess it's 4, to this day exactly, I was standing in your shoes with you as my maid of honor, and you were saying something similar to me, but you truly are the most stunning bride. And I genuinely hope that you feel as loved and as beautiful and special today as you and Christy made me feel 4 weeks ago. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Michelle, Ashley's oldest sister, which you probably naturally assumed given our very similar, very toned physiques, height, hair, and eye color. Actually, many of you probably know me as her cousin, but I've always viewed Ash as so much more than that. As I'm sure many of you have known us since childhood would agree, despite the formalities of technically being cousins, Christy, Ashley, and I have shared a bond that is so strong and so unique that we have always viewed ourselves more like sisters. To this day, when people ask me if Christy is my only sister, I say, well, technically, yeah, but my cousin Ashley is basically like our sister, too. We truly did everything together, except celebrating Nick Carter and Nick Lachey's birthdays, or waiting in line at Harmony House for Backstreet Boys and 98 Degrees concert tickets. That was strictly by invitation only, and the only people that were invited were Christy and Ashley. Seriously, they were like 7 and 8, and they wouldn't let our moms, or even me at 10, go with them. Aside from that, though, from the singing contest at Grandma Burns, to tire swing dances, walks in the woods, bonfires, and making prank calls to the local news channel at Hubbard Lake, we always kept each other entertained. And from police chases and tow truck rides with our uncles, playing bingo on Friday nights in Warren, which, by the way, is harder than it looks. I have a whole new respect for Grandma Murd after that outing. To many Detroit Tigers opening days, Lions football games, and Pistons basketball games, we never left each other's sides. We were always laughing or fighting, but we were truly inseparable. I'm not kidding when I say we seriously considered sharing our wedding day. We compromised once we came to our senses and realized that we would one day need separate anniversaries, so we would have babysitters when we want to celebrate. So we settled on joint wedding dress shopping and sharing our veil. In all honesty, we've genuinely shared everything. Christy and I lost both of our grandmothers at a young age, and for as long as I can remember, we have always looked to Grandma Bernie as our own. We respect Lisa just as we do our own mother. So much so that when we were growing up and either of them caught wind of a simple little intimate house party or two we hosted over the years, I'm not sure who I was more afraid to answer to, my mom or Lisa. We also shared the chicken pox, roommates, friends, enemies, IDs. Ashley dyed her hair brown with coffee and wore really high heels. Season tickets to the Broncos, cars when one of ours, much to our surprise, would get impounded for expired tags. A love-hate, mostly hate, relationship with hiking, skiing, or any other sort of physical activity for that matter. Our now husbands, Matt and Carl, actually even share a past ex-girlfriend. It's amazing what surfaces with a little Facebook research. Of course, as we grew older, we began to forge our own paths. But despite the different schools and eventually states and time zones that separated us, we remained close and constant in one another's lives. With Ashley in Florida, Chicago, Michigan, or wherever she told Granger, her employer, she was working at the time, Christy in Seattle, and me in Colorado, we always found our way back to each other. We were committed to preserving our lifelong bond despite the 3 time zones that separated us. In fact, we used our distance as an excuse to vacation. From our many trips to New York, Chicago, Southern and Northern California, to Key West, Vegas, Texas, Mexico, and everywhere in between, we never went more than a month without seeing one another. Without laughing until we cried, without people staring at us, wondering what we were laughing at, or where our weird, made-up accent came from. However, despite our best efforts and high credit card bills, seeing each other once a month wasn't enough, and we managed to find our way to Colorado. And although Detroit, my dad refers to it as the Big D, or the 313, will always be home, and the place where we shared our childhood memories and our grown-up dreams, Denver, my dad calls that the Little D, or the 303, is where we reunited, where we got to live that grown-up world we once dreamt about, the place that because we are once again together feels a little bit more like home. Ashley, your ambition and independence has never ceased to amaze me. You go out of your way to make people feel special and loved. And Carl said those same exact things today, too. You are beautiful and honest. You are smart and persistent. You are fun and so funny. You are compassionate and fearless. And the way you have gracefully embraced and even overcome challenges that have been thrown your way is inspiring to so many, especially me. What would have been considered a setback to most, you have embraced with grace, diligence, and even humor. I've never seen anybody tackle something head on the way you have. You use your diagnosis as an opportunity to get educated, to make jokes, to create a blog, albeit for a day. Learn some amazing new recipes to make positive changes to not just your own lifestyle, but to positively influence others as well. Honestly, the things you have turned rice cauliflower into, or used stevia for, are truly mind-blowing. You've been so successful with navigating and tackling with such grace this diagnosis that literally blindsided you out of nowhere one day that even your doctors ask you what you're doing, what your secrets are for managing this so well. You inspire me and you inspire others every day. You are strong and you are brave. And I'm not just saying that because you just agreed to marry Carl and spend the rest of your life with him. As some of you know, Christy, Ashley, and I, despite our own very healthy differences of opinion or colorful debates, are fiercely loyal to and protective of one another. So you can imagine how skeptical of Carl I was, given my many Tinder date fails at the time, probably even a little jealous. If I was going to be sharing Ashley with him, was he good enough for such a unique and special person? Almost instantly, I knew the answer was yes. Carl, from the moment we met you, you felt like family. You've never been afraid to speak your mind, crack an inappropriate joke, or rip your shirt off, buttons and all, for a good dance party. You definitely give Ash... Actually, he's only kept it off at the pool so far from what I've seen. You definitely give Ash a run for her money when it comes to being the life of the party, and Lisa the same when it comes to being a passionate or upset football fan. You two are so fun and funny. You come up with ideas that are crazier than ours, and you make friends everywhere you go. And much like Christy, Ashley, and I, Robbie, you, and Matt have also become three peas in a pod. Most importantly, you're fiercely loyal to Ash. You speak your mind, but you protect her, and you're on her team always. So my advice to you, as you embark on this next adventure, one of your greatest. Actually, who am I kidding? I've only been married, I guess, 4 weeks now. But and I'm in Mexico celebrating your wedding like it's Ashley's 21st in Vegas again. So I can't offer much. But what I can offer is something that always worked for us growing up and has worked for you as you share your lives together. Never stop adventuring together and continue to be silly with one another. There can be so much sadness and loss in the world, but we also know that there's good in the world as well. With all of the things that happen that make us feel caught up in a storm, some of us are lucky enough to have something or someone to hold on to. The best thing to hold on to in life is each other. When you have something to hold on to, then you have hope for that day and for many days and years to come. So let's raise our glasses to Carl and Ash, continuing to complement each other in the most perfect ways. I am so proud of you both and the life you are building together. I couldn't be more honored to be standing by your side with your closest family and friends, who I'm also fortunate enough to call my own now, as you embark on your greatest adventure yet.
Hello? All right, you can hear me. Stop by that drive-in. So first, I'll introduce myself. My name is Corbin Klein, and I'm also the younger brother of Carl, the middle to be exact. I'll just start off, I guess first thing I should address is the lovely couple, and basically how gorgeous both of you are looking tonight. Definitely Ashley, Carl, not so bad yourself. Those last minute workouts must have taken effect. I'd also like to thank the parents of both Carl and Ashley, so Lisa and Dave, and also mine and Carl's, Carl Jr. and B. No, because this weekend in Paradise, it couldn't basically have taken place without your guys' hard work and support. I want you to know how much we appreciate what all you've done to get everybody here today to share in this moment in celebration of your wedding. I also like to thank everyone here that's taken the time out of their lives to share in this experience. I realize we all have come a very long way to be here. And myself, like the bride and groom, are grateful for your presence. It does always amaze me how far people will travel for a free meal and open bar. I guess I'll start with my relationship to Carl. So Carl and I met in the decade in which we saw the Kansas City Royals win the World Series, a University of Kansas basketball national championship, the rise of arena rock, and our favorite band, Def Leppard, and where women instinctively flocked like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a time period called the 80s. I am proud to say that our relationship has grown over the last 30 years, and Carl is not just an older brother, but a close and best friend who I can always rely on. I'd like to tell a story of how Carl and Ashley first met, at least the way I understand it. If you did look on the wedding website, there was a little snippet of it on that bio, but that little snippet does not give it justice. So Carl is out one time in Lodo, downtown Denver, and at a bar called Brothers Bar, or Is It Brothers Bar? And in walks this woman dressed in a Superman onesie. Ashley, you must have pulled off that look very well. If I remember correctly, I think Carl's favorite comic was Batman. So it's my honest belief that had you come in wearing a Batman onesie, we probably could have been here 2 years ago. But Carl must have had some liquid courage that night, because he did go over there and strike up a conversation. So when Carl asked what Ashley's name was, Ashley responded with adventure. And Carl, being the smooth pickup artist that he is, responded that his name was Falcon. Well, I'm not sure what chapter of the game that one came out of, but it seemed to work because they've been in a flirtatious state ever since. The ironic thing is that adventure is the best way to sum up the relationship of Carl and Ashley. They're always doing fun and interesting things and going to new places. I have lost count of how many trips they have taken, but Paris, Thailand, Costa Rica, Bimini, Cabo, Portland, Seattle, Key West, New York, and San Diego are several that come to mind. I've been fortunate to have gone on 2 other vacations. The first to Maui, which was the first time I met Ashley and her family, and the second to London, a trip that proved the Kansas City Chiefs can beat the Detroit Lions on more than just one continent. And Ashley, you've spoiled me because I now can no longer go on vacations that are not fully planned. I like to where I can just show up and pay and call it good. Okay. So traveling together with someone can be difficult at times, especially when that someone is Carl, who has got to be the world's worst backseat driver. But the fact that Carl and Ashley's relationship has gotten stronger goes to show how deep their love for one another is. The two of you complement one another perfectly. Carl's weaknesses are Ashley's strengths, and vice versa. Carl, you are a loyal brother and friend who has always had my back and pushed me to succeed in anything I do. When I would be content on settling for something, you would not allow me to, and instead make me work harder to become better and to not take life's gifts for granted. I owe a lot of my success to you, and thank God that you were there for me to look up to and serve an example to follow. Being an engineer, I have had to use lots of math and rulers in my life. And if I can measure up to you in even the slightest way, then I know that I'm doing well for myself. Everything you take it on 100% and give it your whole heart. And I know that is how you're going to approach your marriage to Ashley. I have never known you to come up short on anything that you have truly cared about, and I cannot wait to see where the marriage to your best friend takes you in life. Ashley, you're the most thoughtful and generous woman I have ever met, and I'm so happy that you're marrying my brother and thus becoming my first sister. The amount of care you show your family and friends is astonishing and is something the whole world could learn from. I'm excited to see where and what you will do now that you have someone like Carl there to support you in your endeavors. All right. Did I forget my... Wow. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to do a toast. So here is to Ashley and Carl, to Adventure and Falcon, to starting their next and biggest adventure together. May it be full of laughs and loves and a lifetime of happiness. Cheers and salute.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here to celebrate Carl and Ashley tonight. As Michelle and Corbin and Cranston said, the amount of love shown in this room is truly a testament to this incredible couple. And how stunning does my beautiful cousin look, Ashley? And Carl, you're my cousin too, no? I never imagined that finding the words to share about my best friend, the person I know everything about, on the most important day of her life would be so difficult. Truthfully, nothing I say can express how grateful and proud I am to call a person as beautiful as Ashley my very best friend. We've laughed together, cried together, and shared just about every life experience together. As a matter of fact, growing up, we were never a family of 4. It was always a family of 5. Every ride up north, Ash had the middle seat between Michelle and I. Every concert, opening day, vacation, and airplane ride, it was a family of 5. We never did anything without her, and she never did anything without us, except for a couple things, but we won't talk about those. And you know what I'm talking about. London, Key West, Tampa, Orlando, Napa, LA, Chicago, East Lansing, and New York. Denver, Jackson Hole, Sturgis, Austin, Miami, Houston, the Bahamas, and Hubbard Lake. There hasn't been a city we've left untouched. We've popped bottles with Kid Rock in a hot tub a couple of times and watched the World Series be won, although it wasn't by the Tigers. And we would literally stay at each other's houses for weeks at a time. Dave and Lisa were a second set of parents to Michelle and I, as my parents were to Ash. And Grandma Bernie has always been our Grandma Bernie too. For the most part, we did pretty good staying out of trouble, but there were a few times where luck just wasn't on our side. One incident stands out in my mind particularly. We were with some friends in Key West, and we decided to rent mopeds to, just cruise around the island. Ashley and I decided to ride on one bike, and Michelle and our other friend were on the other bike. We stopped at a bar for a quick break, and Ashley got a wild hair and wanted to drive the moped. Our friends took her back downstairs and had her hop on the bike to take a quick little practice run. I'm pretty sure her feet didn't even touch the ground. So Ashley gets on the moped, and just as we're telling her to just slightly pull that throttle, you see this huge cloud of smoke, and suddenly everyone's getting hit with rocks. And next thing you know, we see her underneath a parked car at the bar we were at. Out runs the cook saying, "You hit my car, lady, you hit my car." And at that point, we did what every responsible 23-year-old adult would do. We quickly scooped up the bike, parked it in a spot, and ran our asses off. After a few more hours and a few more bars, once we thought the coast was finally clear, we decided to go back and check on the bike. Really only because Ashley left her purse in that locked seat of the moped, so we needed our IDs to get home. Once we got there was a significant amount of damage and a big fat ticket from the Key West Police Department telling them to contact us immediately for a hit and run incident that they wanted to know more about. Again, we did what any other responsible 23-year-olds would do. We turned the bike in, paid them off for the damages, ripped the ticket up, and flew home. I'm pretty sure that Key West still has a warrant out for our arrest, and by our arrest, I mean Ashley's. Though I will admit that I was an accessory to that crime. All joking aside, Michelle was always the smart and spontaneous one. I was the nervous one, and Ashley was more the fun and funny one. Ashley, you've given us more or less than anyone could ever deserve in a lifetime. You pack a lot of fun in that petite little stature of yours. We were the Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, the Three Stooges, the Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and the Morning, Noon, and Night. Completely inseparable until we were separated for a few years during college. Michelle was in Colorado, I was in Seattle and Michigan, and Ashley was in Florida. Although we made every effort to see each other regularly, the distance was too far, and we found ourselves back together again in Colorado. That's where Ashley met Carl. I specifically remember meeting Carl for the first time. My heart literally melted, and I knew he was the one for you. Carl, you are genuinely one of the most beautiful people I know. I love you, Carl. I really do. You're kind, compassionate, warm, and caring, and you're definitely honest. You've been known to fill me in on a couple of secret conversations that you and Ashley have. Bonus points for you. You genuinely love Ashley with every ounce of your being. We have so much fun with you guys, and we love you more than anything. And Robbie and I can't thank you guys enough, Uncle Carl and Auntie Ash, for being so amazing and such great role models to our kids. They love you both so much. You guys have built the most beautiful first house together, and your so-called starter house is more beautiful than most people dream about. And together you have transformed that house into a beautiful home, and you're building the most beautiful life together. Ashley and Carl, you complement one another unlike any couple I've ever seen. You balance each other, challenge one another, and keep each other grounded. You have fun together, you support one another, and the unconditional love you show each other is inspiring and beautiful. You two are two of the most amazing people in this whole wide world. But what makes you even more amazing is that you guys are better together as one. My advice to you is, as these years unfold, continue to look back on today and remember what brought you to this perfect moment. No matter what life throws your way, let the memories of falling in love keep you strong and together, and there will be no obstacle that you two cannot overcome. So let's all raise our glasses to this beautiful couple as they continue their journey from this day forward for the rest of their lives as Mr. and Mrs. Carl Milton Klein III. Yeah! Cheers, you guys.